Hello, my darlings. How are ya? Welcome back to the Reset Mantra, and I'm your host, Sabeena Maharjan. Today's conversation is a true soul nourishing reset for any woman ready to reclaim her feminine power and honor her deepest desires. If it's safe to do so, take a deep breath and exhale gently. Let this be a moment to soften into yourself because you're about to meet someone who embodies presence, courage, and soul led transformation. Today, I'm joined by Celia Peachey, a UK native turned Costa Rican entrepreneur and a transformational coach whose work is rooted in true alchemy. Through her company and her signature framework, Ultimate Alchemy, she helps powerhouse women step into their truth with presence, courage, and creativity. Celia's work blends emotional intelligence, feminine leadership, belief transformation, and deep healing. She's here to talk about her journey, her mission, and a powerful new offering that might just be the nudge your soul has been waiting for. Hi, Celia. Welcome to the Reset Mantra. I'm so happy you're here.
Me too. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure for sure. You know, I have so many questions. You are such a pure ray of sunshine. And I was telling you before that, you have just this unique frequency about you that can just draw people around you, uplift them, and just without them knowing, we're already feeling better. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, I'm just so grateful just to have connected with you, with this group that Catherine, and we call her Cat's leading. So I'm just very grateful. Can't say that enough.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been amazing to share those mini videos because you're talking about that we do these challenges and we've been sharing videos and it's been really great to just pull us out of any particular mindset slumps and just really tune into what we choose to create. So it's really creating that deliberate connection, and then the group is sharing their dreams and their aspirations and their vulnerabilities, and it's so wonderful to witness. And I thank you so much for picking up on that and saying that about my energy. It's been a long journey, and someone else actually said to me the other day, you have such healthy energy. I thought, wow, I haven't heard that before, but that's a really beautiful compliment.
For sure, for sure. Yes, thank you so much for expanding on, this community and what we do behind. But we can do a whole episode on that too. Like, I've been thinking about it, like that itself can be a content that I want to share with my audience. What we do with Kat and the community, talk about like dreams, aspirations, and uplifting and bringing the community together to grow together. But today, I want to focus about you and the beautiful creation of work that you do as a transformational coach who is rooted on true alchemy, right? To me, you are really the ultimate alchemist.
Yeah.
But before we dive in, let's start with the soul behind the mission, right? Like, what's your own reset mantra that led you to Costa Rica and the work that you do now?
Well, when you ask that, there's so many because the nature of my transformation required me to really create so many mantras that would help me calibrate to a new level of understanding around some of the things that were happening. So, ultimate alchemist is what's the best that can happen because I've experienced the worst that can happen. And when someone asked that question, I thought, that's my question because no one's asking those kinds of questions, and that's the question I am so open to receiving the answer to. So I am the ultimate alchemist of my life. What is the best that can happen? And that's even in the face of adversity, because there's always a silver lining, and you might not see it straight away. Often we don't. However, being open, being receptive to leaning into trusting our lives, regardless of what's showing up, is imperative to how we thrive in this experience.
So you were in UK before, right? And that transition to Costa Rica and living as a transformational coach. Tell us about like what led you to this path and how presence, courage, and the creativity that you talk about became your guiding forces.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a profound awakening. I was working myself into the ground and trying to do so many different things, as we women do, sometimes multitasking because we can, but I wasn't really making any progress. And I heard about Vipassana meditation one day, and I looked at it on the website and I thought, I'm not so sure that that's for me. And then a year went by and nothing changed in my life. And I thought, okay, so no holiday is going to fix this. I need to look at my mind. I need silence. I need peace. I need space to reflect and contemplate. And so I went on this Vipassana meditation retreat and really looked into the true nature of my mind and understood that through that. I mean, I know you've done it as well because we had a brief conversation about it, which means you are in my inner circle of high respect because it's one of the most simple yet difficult things I've ever done. And I've done it quite a few times now. And I've now said that I'll do it every year of my life. So anyway, what they teach you is to train your mind through your body so that the monkey that runs into the future and the past gets trained back into the present moment and into the sensations of the body. So you start to really read yourself like a book through sensation. This feels good. This doesn't feel good. And gradually you start to recognize how to make choices that serve your highest vibration, that serve your bliss rather than the addiction to suffering. And so what they teach is that craving and attachment are the two things that lead to misery. And they help you train your mind to the root level, and you understand the nature of it experientially. So everything's great in theory, but if you haven't got the experience, then you're not embodied. And so Vipassana was the first initiation, if you like, into understanding the nature of my mind and training it to live, to inhabit my body and not run away with all sorts of stories that weren't helpful to me. So this was a real profound shift for me when I got to see, I understand why certain things are happening in my life. I'm creating it unconsciously because I'm an artist, and I get to create consciously. And that's when I really began to take back my power and my sovereignty over my life. And that's when embodiment practices and all the other alchemy practices and tools that I've cultivated came into play. But what really made it such a shift was a tragedy that happened. But as I say, life is always preparing you for your big initiation. So I was on that Vipassana meditation retreat back in, I think it was 2008. And whilst I was experiencing this mental peace that I never knew existed, I was given back my phone at the end of the retreat, and I saw that I had lots of missed calls, and I didn't answer them because I wanted to speak to people, and it was amazing. When I spoke to them, I realized they're not what my mind had said. So I was really seeing the nature of my mind to create stories that weren't true about people or events, and it was such an epiphany to me. Anyway, when we left, I checked my phone, and I had some messages from the police, and I had messages from my mum's friends. And when I called my mother's friend, I was in a car with a group of people, and I said, "Look, you need to stop the car. I need to make a call. Something's happened." And that's when my mum's best friend told me, "I'm so sorry, Celia, but your mum's been murdered." And you just never think you're ever going to hear those words. You just, I mean, like now, you can't even speak. You are dumbstruck. And I stood in that field, and because of the mind training of 10 hours of meditation for 10 days, I had that space between stimulus to response, and I was guided to say, this either makes me or breaks me. And I just clapped my hands and I said, it makes me. And then I had this download of be faithful, the balance is being addressed. And I was so conscious that how I respond to this is going to set the tone for the rest of my life. And that's when I went on a journey of really becoming the most conscious creator I possibly could, and choosing to be the artist of my life. Don't get me wrong. Everything fell apart. I had to really piece every part of me back together again. And it's taken many, many years. But here I am now living my dream of service to other people. And I feel more whole and healthy and vibrant than I've ever felt before. And due to the depth of the work that I was invited by life to go on that journey to embody, to participate in, I can see how things have happened for me, and I've healed every single relationship, and I have built a life that is beyond my fondest dreams, and I feel like I'm just getting going. And I also feel a very strong connection to my mother, because everything is energy, and I feel that love is so eternal. And so I'm very blessed for the wisdom that it has given me in order to, in answer your question, presence is honoring each moment as it unfolds. And I feel that before I was living in the future, our family members have lived in the past, and I have been guided to live in the present moment. And I often say that I'm present in the process. And then with courage, it's facing fear, looking fear in the eye and facing every single shadow and bringing it to light and lovingly bringing it to light and choosing to alchemize all the different experiences into wisdom so that I can serve others and turn all this pain into power and purpose. And it's a testament to the strength that we all hold.
Mm. Hey, Celia. So first of all, my heart goes out to you, and I'm
Thank you.
sure your mom's in a better place, somewhere much better in heaven, and
He's free of this
she's
human
free.
experience.
Yes, for sure.
I mean, I enjoy life, but you know what I mean. I think that there's a different generation that didn't really know about psychological and emotional intelligence in order to really thrive. And I feel like we are this new wave of energy coming in to really teach other people how to live this life to the
Mm.
fullest.
Yes. And I'm sure your mom is so, so proud of you. Like I cannot imagine, just like I can feel that how much she can be proud of you for truly alchemizing what you went through. And I couldn't have even, like I was telling you offline, I couldn't have guessed what you went through because you are such a body of joy that just uplifts people. And the sentence you say, each word vibrates in such a high frequency. I've felt that I've lifted myself in a brief conversation with you. So hats off to you for, I'm sure there was a lot of difficult time, a commitment, and long years of hard work you put in to get here where you are today. I know you are huge into energy and, we talk about frequency, but for someone who is not aware about what we're talking about when we say energy, like high vibrational energy, high frequency, and to tune into your own body to bring out the light, to connect to source. For someone, this might be, what is that? But tell me more about how you work with energy and frequency and your relationship with the whole feminine energy.
Well, feminine energy isn't something that you necessarily cultivate. It's there all the time, and it's about allowing it to flow and giving it permission and learning to trust the feminine energy. Because I feel that when you go through a lot of trauma or you're trying to build something like your business, we are often in our masculine energy striving to make things happen. And really, when you allow the feminine to dance with the masculine energy, you have this beautiful blend of strategy as well as the frequency work that makes you magnetic, because your things feel more easy and fun around you. When you're labor intensive, you're not trusting, you're not allowing. And so the feminine frequencies are about allowing and expanding, and it's coming back to the body. So for me, for a long time, it was very difficult to trust the feminine energy because I had to be. And that's partly why I did Vipassana, because I was a human doing before that. I didn't really know what it meant to be a human being and to trust that being was enough. And through going through a lot of resistance and clearing my channel of the lead, the trauma, the limiting beliefs, the fears, the everything, through choosing to be an instrument for change and knowing that it's never over, I'm constantly clearing and evolving in order to elevate and cultivate more presence, because presence is something that needs to be cultivated because things are pulling you in one way or the other. And when you're present, you are in the highest frequency because you're potent. All of your energy is focused into this moment. And so you can feel your body, you can feel the signals. And when I was striving so hard in the past, I didn't listen to my body, and I would fight against it and struggle and try and make things happen, and they never really worked. And then I realized I had to surrender. And then it was a journey of really of understanding what surrender really means. And that's what I offer my clients is listen to your body, learn to trust yourself, feel it. If you listen to your body's whispers, you don't have to hear it scream. Your body's always talking to you, it's sending you psychic signals. And when we're we hold resentment, which is energy just resent. We go into a contracted state. So only through being honest
Hmm.
and being vulnerable in safe spaces do we get to clear this channel and live in a connection with someone and really feel the fabulousness of the human condition through connection, right? Everybody wants connection, but you can't connect unless you connect to yourself and you connect to your pain and you choose to bring compassion to that and transmute it. So that's what it means for me, really, is to reconnect to that energy and restore balance, because our feminine qualities really are our superpower.
Oh, I know you talked about Vipassana, and before I went to Vipassana, I was talking to you about this briefly. I've done a meditation here and there, followed YouTube, those guided meditations, and been practicing. But just like you said, I didn't know how to connect to my body. Like I had the sense of fear, and I don't know what that meant, where that was coming from. I had
Mm-hmm.
self-doubt, this negative self-talk, and I was just living with it, thinking it's normal. And that's how life is. But there was a point in time when I was really burnt out at work, and I said, I don't think I can do this for the rest of my life. I need to figure a way out. And with series of incidents, when my 10-year relationship ended, that's when I felt actually very heartbroken, but at the same time so free. And I said, I'm going to go to Vipassana. And that's when, for me, like when Dyer says, the whole answers will come to you. It didn't make sense to me when I listened to his video back in 2019. Like, what is this guy saying? Like, how would the answers come to you? You need to go search for it. That's what I used to think. And then when I was in that Vipassana moment, it was for a 10-day. And on day fourth, I felt like, what the heck am I doing? Do I really need to do this? And I was questioning, doubting myself. I was having that rebellious thought. But I think around day six, seven, things really started to shift. Like I was able to really tap into my body, just like you said, not think about past, not think about present, just be able to listen to the teacher, follow, focus on my body. And you could just sense this. I think they use the term sankara, which is like all
That's it,
the,
Sankaras.
yeah, those come up, like all those hidden layers
All
of,
the memories and experiences
yes,
that
so
that
those
have
come
been
up.
stored in our body. Yeah.
Exactly, right? And then we get educated or trained to just be aware to the sense of rising and passing and this law of impermanence, right? Like everything is changing. I felt like, okay, that's where I might not be explaining it correctly, but that to me was like, ha, this is the moment. This is where I feel so much now connected to myself. Now I can exactly know when a fear comes in, how to deal with it, how to respond, how to really like watch my emotions and
Hmm.
regulate my nervous system. And to me, that was like, I think I felt like I breathed the sense of relief after 33 years for the first time. I was 33 when I went to Vipassana. So yeah, I feel like, there's so much we can tap into, but we don't know how to, like what to
We,
do.
I
And
think we
that's,
do know how. I think there's enough information out there now. I feel that it's really up to people to make a choice
mm,
about what they're ready for, and if they're ready to take responsibility for their lives and choose to let go of the suffering, because pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And Vipassana is not easy. You know it's not. It's one of the simplest things, but it's very difficult to sit with yourself and really look at
mm,
things. And I feel that if more people were willing to participate in their healing process and not just scratch the surface, they would find the liberation that Vipassana. It might not be Vipassana for them, but it could be something else. But it's going on that internal journey of mining yourself for the gold that you hold. You know,
for sure, for sure. Just curious, like where did you do the Vipassana? Was it in Costa Rica?
I've done quite a few of them now. I did the first one in Herefordshire in England. Then I did one in Nepal. I've done it in India. I've done it in Spain. I have Thailand.
Oh,
I've done a few. Yeah, I've done quite a few now. And I made a promise to myself last year that I would do them every single year from now on,
Mm, wow.
because as you say, that nervous system regulation, that mental peace, that capacity to focus is just such a gift. And also to have some space from all of the clutter and the societal programming and projections is such a gift to give yourself.
Yeah. Where in Nepal did you do the Vipassana? I'm curious because I'm from Kathmandu too.
I know you are. I know, that's amazing. And they are the kindest, most beautiful people ever. And I had the most exquisite experience. It was at the foothills of Kathmandu. I couldn't
Mm.
tell you exactly where, but it was a profound experience, and I'm super grateful because I went to trek the Himalayas after that, which was amazing. So
Mm.
amazing.
That's lovely. It makes my heart happy whenever I meet someone and they've been to Nepal, they know about Nepal, they know the cultural values and, there's about Vipassana because it's the land where Gautam Buddha was born. We practice meditation. My grandfathers, my grandmothers, they practice meditation. So it feels like it's
Oh,
rooted in my culture,
how
you know?
blessed are you that everybody practiced meditation. They're taking responsibility for their own minds.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and it feels like it's not that I feel that I need to take this legacy with me, but it's just a calling that came to me sometime when I was in late 20s. It was just like a seed, and I'm like, I don't know where this came from. It's probably just subconsciously, I just know, and I just didn't know that I know, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So,
I didn't know that I knew either, but I knew that,
mhm,
and that's our superpower as women. And this is the feminine edge: is that you don't know, but you know, and you don't even need to explain it, or there's just a connection to the body, and you feel it. And
yes,
that's enough.
that's enough. True. Okay, so I want to pivot our discussion a little bit. You have a course coming. Actually, you launched a course, right?
Yes, yes,
Called
yes. Illumination.
Illumination. Tell us
Hmm.
more about it. I'm very curious to know what it's about.
So, illumination is all about transforming women's relationship with success and activating that feminine edge, which is it. What it does is it uniquely bridges the spiritual, combining the energetic alignment with the spiritual action. The frameworks that you need, because often we're disconnected. Where traditional success, approaches, they leave us burned out. They leave us kind of, as you say earlier, that we're chasing stuff rather than allowing things to come to us. We don't understand that we are magnetic, and we get to to be in our queenliness, if you like, to be in that power. And so illumination is about choosing presence over pressure, and it values alignment over action, and it provides you with that dual transformation of practical tools for mastering like your strategic prioritization, but also amplifying your creativity, and looking at your energetic patterns so that you can start to harness them and focus and create a vision that's so vibrant and live in the highest vibration as you create that vision. Because for me, I had so many limiting beliefs because of the trauma, where I was so fragmented. I couldn't focus. I had all these creative ideas, but I just didn't know how to focus my energy and enjoy the process in a high vibration, rather than telling myself that no one was going to want it. What's the point? All those voices that, unless you do the inner work, are going to get in the way. So illumination is about really breaking those cycles and giving you the framework and the philosophy to really refine your energy so that you can tune up your internal realm, and bring your gifts to this world, and transform any limitations into strength, and create from a place of radiant truth,
Hmm.
slaying shame and living your highest vibration, because all of us have something. No one gets out without something that they feel sad or shamed about, but that's no reason to hold us back from creating our lives. And, in response to my mother's death years ago, I wrote a play. I put that on at Edinburgh, and that went from 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars to 5 stars. And I think that's probably the healthiest response anyone could ever have to something so tragic. And then, through art, through healing, through building my business, through helping other women become the artists of their lives, through consciously creating, through high level perception of themselves and of their gifts, we can transform this world and make a masterpiece with anything that life gives us.
What's the first step, someone, when it comes to you, right? Like, where do they begin to even, before they get connected to their highest self?
The first step is listening. is allowing them a safe space to be heard and to be seen and to express without any judgment, without anyone trying to fix anything, just absolutely holding them in that moment so that they can pour their hearts out and start to see what's coming through, because they may not have opened up fully before. And then from that place, we start to explore the silver linings. We start to explore where things have come from, where that story came from, the origination of it, getting to the root cause of things, and then starting to sublimate that and create more compassion and awareness around that pattern, and start to address it in the present moment and create new ways of being, new ways of perceiving. And definitely emotional intelligence and emotional intelligence and emotional nervous system regulation is absolutely profound. I mean, for most women, it's about actually feeling safe to stop and to pause and to allow themselves to feel all of the things that they have suppressed, so that they can hold themselves in compassion and recalibrate to a new sense of self through self-compassion initially, and then also venting, expressing, and just being held, so that they can say, okay, I needed that. Now this is what I want to do with this information. I'm choosing to live the wisdom of my experience. I know I'm not alone. I've decided to recruit help on this journey because I know I won't be able to do it on my own. You can do it on your own, but I haven't been able to. I mean, it's boring and it's nowhere near as much fun. And also, you collapse timelines when you work with someone else that's been through stuff and come out the other side. And I think the sisterhood and the depth of connection to have someone look you in the eye and just love you for the person that you are, regardless of all the stories that you tell yourself, is just a profound gift. And coaching is so incredible because it's always about finding a way of pivoting your mind to find the solution and the silver lining. And that is alchemy. That's power. Because life is always going to throw us challenges. They don't go away. You're always alchemizing something. So it's about who you become along the way. And so when you look at who you are beyond those stories, you can start to create space for her to come through and her radiance to shine.
That's beautiful. I mean, like you said, like we all have that inner knowing and magic within ourselves. It just, we need to be able to tap into it, right? And that's where, like you said, it's hard to do it on your own. Having a coach makes it so much, first, accountable
Mm-hmm.
and help us reach that goal. Because otherwise, I feel like we'll be wandering in circles and trying to figure out with the trial and errors,
I've
how.
invested every penny
Mm,
into my healing, into my education, because no one is going to fill that void other than me, with my own presence and my own intuitive, educational, emotionally rich life force.
mm.
And through self-investment and self-knowledge, you get access to the wealth that's within you.
What would you say is the, like, out of all the investments and, into the personal development courses, coaches, meditations that you did, what was that truly, truly transformational event that you think has the biggest impact in your evolution?
In all honesty, there isn't one particular moment. There's been so many moments of taking myself to the places where I can process my emotions consciously and authentically, because when you've been through something so intense, you're going to experience rage. If you don't, then you're not being honest. And so sacred rage, breath work is a profound thing. I've also done a lot of shamanic work, no plant medicines for the first 5 years of deep training, and then moving into using plant medicines as a tool. But I did Vipassana before that and therapy. So I'm very, very about the manual training, like Vipassana, because you don't need to rely on anything other than yourself and your own capacity to choose in that moment. I have a choice. I can take responsibility for what I think and what I focus on and the meaning that I assign to the experiences in my life, and then the actions that I take as a result that create the experience that I have with my life. And so it's it's never ending. And that's the thing. I think sometimes people think, oh, I did it once. I did it once. I went to the gym. You don't go to the gym once. You are your purpose. And so prayer, meditation, taking yourself to a place where people really recognize the reverence of your being and honor yourself, with whatever it is. And so there's Kundalini Yoga. I'm training Kundalini, conscious breath work. I mean, I do a lot of writing as well, ice baths, you name it. I don't think there's any one thing. It's a lifestyle. You become who you are through the tools that you actively use on a regular basis, because you're always alchemizing. Life is always giving you things.
It's a lifestyle. It's a commitment that you make daily to
It's a
invest.
commitment to your own evolution.
When you're working with women as a transformational coach, do you see a specific kind of patterns in all women as to what kind of problems they're addressing, or what kind of problems they're going through, and what they need to work on the most?
Yeah, it all comes back to self-worth, knowing your worth, and how can you really reconcile that, like compared to some of the things that have happened or the external experiences that have made you question it, and then to listen to yourself and trust yourself and your decisions. So, it's when I do embodiment exercises, it's embodied wealth energetics. I am worthy. I am a magnet. I am trusting myself. I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing to listen to myself above all else, because I think that women have been kind of trained to put everybody else before themselves. And from my own experience, that's one of the worst things you can do, because if you abandon yourself for other people, you'll find that they'll leave too. And then you're left with what? So it's about really choosing you every single time, and learning to live in alignment with your inherent value, which is a daily, what do you say, consecration of your own goodness and greatness.
Conscious creation, I love that. I've heard this, that the self-worth is a common thing a lot of women experience, including me. So I just cannot understand why.
It's not just women. It's when I was studying shamanism years ago, that was the core limiting belief of humanity, that we're not worthy. And we talked about it a little bit on the call, but I think that marketing and all these other vehicles have this, we've got messages all the time selling a lie to us that we need something else to complete us. And that's not the case. Yes, we all choose to grow into our greatness and become the best version of ourselves, but to come from a place of lack. And that's another thing that I share in Illumination, is to create from a place of wholeness. You get to do this. Do it from a place of love. And I'm excited about what I'm creating, and I love my work, rather than I should do this. I have to do this. If I don't do this, then this won't happen. And just choosing to regularly let go of the lack, and relax into the abundance that's right in front of us.
As simple as it sounds, like building that self-worth through affirmations and through the words like you just went through.
Well, it's about creating a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, we're surrounded by this, external noise where, be it marketing or any kind of advertisements that's going on there, like, okay, you need to have certain things to look beautiful, to look radiant, be it the cosmetic industry, the skincare industry, could be the clothing industry. And I think it all comes down to how you were saying about making conscious creation, right? Just because you hear some noise doesn't mean you have to run after it. You can make a choice for yourself, whether that's for you or not.
Well, that's why we do the practices, because business for me it's spiritual as well as strategic. Even Tony Robbins teaches that if you've got success and finances on your side, but you don't have that internal wealth within you, then there's no fulfillment, and that's not success. You're actually empty. So it's really every single day tuning into that sense of love, and putting that energy, creating that energy from within to create around us, so that those things don't get to us, psychically or emotionally, the way that they are kind of intended to do. So we can see it for what it is. And when we do buy into certain things, it's coming from a place of awareness and discernment.
Yeah. I think I love how Tony Robbins says, was it Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn who said, stay guard in the door of your mind, something like that. there should be a guard in your mind to choose what enters into your mind and what you don't allow to enter, right? So I love Tony
Absolutely.
Robbins. Yeah. As
Yeah,
much as
me
I love
too.
Joe Dispenza, I love Tony Robbins and all those folks who are really, really putting amazing, good messages out there in the world.
They are incredible human beings. Absolutely, so grateful that they exist, and that's why it's so important. Someone said to me the other day, if you're not contributing to the light, you're actually contributing to the darkness. We have a duty to shine our light. And another thing I wanted to bring into awareness, because we're both Vipassana meditators, is Cuenca, and it's make best use of the time. And this is something that I talk about in Illumination because time was such an issue. I lived in the future, other people that I love lived in the past, and it's like live in the present and make best use of the time. Who are you being in this moment? Yeah, he wasn't about any kind of commercial success, but look at the legacy that he left.
What's your go-to practices to reset when out of alignment and, offer a message to our listeners who are probably ready to shift but still like hesitating or experiencing some blocks that they are unable to release?
Okay, I have such a vast toolbox and I use different things at different times. And I have a very strong self practice because I know that I get to consciously create my life and I don't always feel the way that I want to, right? I can wake up with anxiety and I'm like, okay, what's the tool that I want to use for this particular moment? So the other day it was Kundalini Yoga because Kundalini Yoga, it anchors mudras which connect to the brain synapses. So you're actually, each one means different things. So you have different kriyas for particular intentions and outcomes, energetic outcomes or transformation. So it was yesterday, I did a full set of Kundalini yoga. I'm trained in Kundalini, and that's been incredibly powerful in its transformational experience. I mean, the insights that I've had through that practice are profound because you're fully engaging in the healing process. You have to do some really silly things, but it works. The breathing, the pumping of your organs and moving your body and fully engaging into I choose to feel good. And I think in this day and age, the information age, our subconscious is like a filing cabinet that just gets clogged up like the computer's cache. So what Kundalini does is it just cleans everything out and brings you into this moment. And that's particularly when you're feeling more energetically frenetic, that you need something that's going to just pull you into your center and also clear you of collective concerns, because I was so worried yesterday about everybody in the world. And I thought, well, I can only change me. So let me do that so that I can actually be of service rather than trying to fix everyone else like we women do or used to. So Kundalini is a profound tool. I absolutely love it, along with the sound healing and the meditation, obviously Vipassana, and then breath work and tapping. These are things that you can use no matter where you are. It doesn't cost you any money, and it's right under your nose, and it's at your fingertips. You get to explain what the problem is and what the outcome that you would love to have, and you get to speak that out loud, feel those emotions, process that whole situation, and then speak into creation what you choose. And so this is, it's simple, but it's profound because you're actually tapping and reprogramming these messages into the body. But you have to be authentic about the fact that you are feeling less than or upset about something so that the emotions can process. It needs to be processed consciously. So they're the main ones. And I'm going later to like a herbal sauna, and then we're going to do ice baths. That for me, and strength training, I love. I exercise and being really strong in my body. It just makes me feel like a powerhouse, and I love it. So those are the things that I find the most transformative and powerful. And if you're going even deeper, you ask me on a daily basis. This is completely different from a daily basis. Well, those tools do work. But then on a deeper level, there are plant medicines, which can take you on a journey of looking at your ancestral stuff. Shamanism without plant medicines and with plant medicines is going to help you look at the lineage of patterns that you are choosing to alchemize.
Hmm.
There's a lot.
No, I was taking a moment just to kind of absorb, how most of the healing um, most of the answers that we seek are in the simplest thing, like you said, the breath work, which is right under our nose, and in tapping, which is right on top of our fingers. I felt that was, I just loved how you say it. It's in those simplest things. I personally love breath work.
Well, I was going to say that it takes 3 minutes. 3 minutes of breath work. You could do box breathing, which they use in the military, which you breathe in and you hold, and you're stilling the energy. You know, you're alchemizing all the frenetic energy, and then you breathe out and you hold the breath out. And within 3 minutes, you can alchemize conflict to compassion. And then every interaction is going to have a different quality, which is going to set the tone for a different trajectory in your life and have a very different outcome. So it's worth taking the time to tune into yourself, to calibrate to your highest timeline. You are worth 3 minutes. And if you don't have 3 minutes, you don't have a life. You literally don't have a life. Like this is the work. You are the work. With regards to the breathing, I was trained in conscious breathing. So you breathe with your mouth open, and you have to have someone facilitate the breathing process, because you're doing it for 45 minutes and you're breathing through the entire body to clear the cellular memory of charge, of emotional charge, so that you actually become a clean slate. And I did that for an entire week of every day breathing for periods of time on particular topics or default emotions. So if you're someone that gets angry, or your default is sadness or reactivity on a certain thing, you can actually breathe on that and clear the cellular memory. So the breath work is the key, really. If you're not keen on plant medicines, if you're not keen on ice baths, then breathing, because there's no excuse.
No excuse.
It is the answer.
For sure. Yes. And I love ice baths. I love cold
You
plunge.
do?
I
Amazing.
love it. Yes. I have the gym that I go to, they have a cold plunge. And in the beginning, it was terrible. I couldn't even stand for 5 seconds. But now it's my, okay, if I'm feeling sad, frustrated, that's when I go. That's where I go. And it release everything. I think it just makes you tough physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, the meaning that I associate cold plunge with. Just
Yeah,
makes you,
I find that it turns the body from lead to electric, to gold. I feel completely lit up when I come out. I'm like, wow, look at this. I didn't know I could feel this good. And I found that with Kundalini and ice baths or freshwater swimming, the worse that I feel and the more resistance I had towards doing it means that I need to do it, because how I feel afterwards is mind blowing. The
mm,
difference.
yeah, for sure. I urge everybody listening to try ice baths, cold plunge, breath work at least once. And I think
At
once you
least.
know, you can't go back. You can't not do
Absolutely.
it.
I mean, look at some of the amazing people that are doing it in the world. Look at what Wim Hof has been through and what he's created, and all the things that he's overcome. And they talk about that in Tibetan Buddhism. If you focus, there's nothing you cannot combat and overcome or master, but you've got to use the tools. So there's secrets in plain sight. The tools are there. Are you seeing them? Are you going to use them?
What's your mission in this lifetime?
It's to help women unlock their full potential and recognize their inherent value, and to know that they are the ultimate alchemist of their lives. They are the powerhouses. They are the ones they've been waiting for. And that love is the currency. It really is. But we have to face our fears so that we can alchemize everything and rise. Use the contrast to manifest the best, because nothing's wasted if you choose to live the wisdom of your experience. And that's what it means to be the ultimate alchemist of your life.
Hmm. Use the contrast to create. What would contrast mean?
Well, when I say use the contrast to manifest the best, I mean all of the negative experiences that can hold you apart from living the life that you were born to live, to becoming the person that you are born to be. Choose to live the wisdom of that experience. Mine yourself for the gold that you hold. Find the silver linings. Reflect, contemplate on what life is teaching you, and use that. Use that and create a foundation for yourself, so that you can be the ultimate alchemist of your life, that you can come through the worst things and you can create beauty with it. That's a
Mm.
choice we all have.
Celia, would you also tell our listeners where can they find you if they want to learn more about what you do and connect with you further?
Sure. You can find me on Instagram on Miss Peachy Celia, and on Facebook It's Celia Peachey. You have an EY at the end of Peachey, which hopefully will help you find me a lot easier. And I don't actually currently have a website at the moment. I am building out other things, but I would say social media is the best place.
Perfect. And I will make sure to put those links in the show notes below so people can connect with you further. So this has been absolutely wonderful. Before we wrap up, I have a few cosmic questions for you. It's like a little journey through your mind and universe. No right, wrong answers, just whatever comes to your mind at the moment. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number one, if your mind was a galaxy, which planet do you think would you be living on right now?
The first thing that came to me was Blessed Beyond Belief Galaxy.
Blessed
Why not?
beyond belief galaxy.
Why not? I said this to a friend of mine, I'm blessed beyond belief. And they were like, no, you can't be blessed beyond belief. I said, yes, I can. And it's like beyond belief. If you think about it, beliefs are in themselves a limitation. So if the sky isn't even the limit, then I can be blessed beyond belief.
I like how you say it. That's wonderful. Something to think about for the audiences as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so second question. So the universe just sent you a cosmic billboard. What message is written on it for you? What do you need to hear right now?
If there was a message from the universe that said, I love you.
Oh, yeah. The universe loves you too.
Exactly. And it's just believing that, right? And so if we're blessed beyond belief, then and love is all there is, then it just is. We don't have to do anything for that love. That's just the truth.
Yes, yes. That's lovely. All right. Third question. If you could place one thought or one belief or one mantra in every human's subconscious mind tonight, what would that be?
Oh, great question. And I have a fantastic answer that I was going through a really difficult time a couple of years ago. And I said to the universe, I said, give me a mantra that's going to help me stop getting hijacked by this particular situation that's hurting. You know, it's keep taking me to sadness. And it came. And it was, I am present in the process. Because if you are present in the process, you are nowhere else and you get to be exceptionally good at everything that you're doing and you are embodying your greatness. So I am present in the process.
Oh, I love that. I am present in the process. Well, Celia, this has been such a delightful conversation. I am so, so grateful for your time, and this was a wonderful conversation.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor and I'm very grateful to be able to share. So thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this powerful conversation. I hope it sparked something within you, whether it was a deeper connection to your own energy, a new perspective on emotional alchemy, or simply the reminder that your reset can be your rebirth. If this episode moved you, please share it with someone who's ready to say yes to themselves. And remember, your desires are not random, they're a map. Honor them. And don't forget, you are the alchemist of your life. This is Sabeena Maharjan, and I will see you in the next episode of the Reset Mantra.